In 1914, there was a popular song in Australia, The Trail of Lonesome Pine. Have you heard about it before? Sir, you know? Could you sing us? No. I can't also sing, but I can read the words for you. In the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia, on the trail of Lonesome Pine, in the pale moonshine, our hearts entwine, where she carved her name and I carved mine. Oh June, like the mountains, I am blue. Like the pine, I am lonesome for you. Romantic? 1 year later, 1915, this area is covered with really beautiful pine trees. But Turkish soldiers cut nearly all of them to supply themselves a range and to build trench timber. But however, they left only one pine tree. It became a native landmark of the area. When Australians saw the pine tree, they remembered the song and shortened its name. The trail of Lonesome Pine became Lone Pine, and the Lone Pine became this area's legendary name. But during the first day's bombardment, that original pine tree is destroyed by bombardment. But when Australians captured Lone Pine after a very bloody attack, maybe the bloodiest battle of Australian history, the Lone Pine Battle, one Aussie soldier found its seed in a captured trench and sent it to Australia. It planted there, from original seed, a couple of trees planted. One is now standing in Canberra, in Australian War Memorial Garden. One is in Brisbane, one is in Gallipoli. In 1990, they sent Turkey another seed from Canberra, and we plant here. Now let me present you the granddaughter of original pine. Okay, I will tell the story inside, please follow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if my image grant another long speech waiting for you. Here is Lone Pine, one of the most strategical points of Gallipoli. If you control this hill, you can control half of peninsula. As I told you, Chunuk Bair and Hill is 3.5 km up that side, ANZAC is 1.5 kilometers on that side. 6th of August afternoon, during the Civil War operations, Australian soldiers had their big attack to this hill. What was the plan for civil operations? While Turkish soldiers visited Australians at Lone Pine and at Neck, visited New Zealand over Chunuk Bair Hill, 21,000 fresh British soldiers would land Civil Bay on that side and would attack up Chunuk Bair Hill. To attack the hill or to get the hill, you need to get Turkish soldiers away from there. So you need diversion attacks. The biggest one was here at Lone Pine. Before the Lone Pine battle started, Australian soldiers trained starting behind the cemetery wall over the pine trees. Turkish soldiers trained starting behind the White Memorial. So the distance between trench lines were over one soccer field big. 6th of August afternoon at 5:30 p.m. the attack started and lasted 4 days, 4 nights. At the end of 4 days period, Australian soldiers took this hill, but they lost nearly 2,000 soldiers. And Turkish army lost nearly 4,000 soldiers. Total detonation number of Australian army was 8,700, so 2,000 of them lost their lives for this hill. Here, because the trench lines were too close to each other, they couldn't do bombardment. So all the soldiers had to fight with man-to-man, bayonet to bayonet, or hand grenade to hand grenade. Here, some trenches changed hand 8 or 10 times in one day. And the Victoria Cross, as I told you, it was the highest degree in the army. Total 35 Allied soldiers awarded it. 10 of them were ANZACs. But 7 of them got the Victoria Cross during the Lone Pine Battle in 2.5 days period. After my speech, I will tell you some of their stories. At the end of 4 days period, Australians took this hill and held it till evacuation. All the Turkish army had many attempts to get this hill back. They couldn't reach their goals till evacuation. During the Gallipoli campaign, there was a graveyard over here near the big pine tree. This pine tree planted there in 1960 by Turkish government for the honor of Lone Pine. But in 1919, when the Grave Commission came here, they saw there were hundreds of small cemeteries, so they carried small ones so near big ones. Bronze Dip plot, other side of the cemetery added here later, and here became main and the biggest Australian cemetery. The headstones for the soldiers who have graves. And what about the others? There are thousands of men who have no known graves. So while the memorial names, these soldiers have no known graves. Lone Pine also important for New Zealanders because there are 4 memorials for the New Zealanders who have no known graves. One is at Lone Pine, right, and the left side of the big one. You can see some of the New Zealander soldiers' names. When we go to Chunuk Bair, you will see another memorial of New Zealanders. Okay, something about Victoria Crosses. It was a plain, almost silver medal. Queen Victoria instituted it as the empire's highest decoration for bravery in battle. It was the year 1856. It saw the end of Crimean War. When Sevastopol fell, a number of Russian guns captured by victorious regiments and taken to Britain. And the Victoria Cross firstly cut from bronze from those guns. That tradition persists for a century. During the campaign, 35 Allied soldiers awarded it. 10 of them were ANZACs. Some books saying that 9 Australians, 1 New Zealander. The other book saying that 8 Australians, 2 New Zealanders. Because of Captain Alfred Shalt. Captain Shalt was from New Zealand, but he was in the command of Australian army. During the Lone Pine battle, he was catching the living hand grenades in the air and throwing it back to lines, but exploding hand grenade killed him. 2 days later, posthumously awarded Victoria Cross. You can see Captain Shalt's name on the panel 12. Where is it? Before you climb up the steps, turn your left, not the last panel, near the last panel on the bottom you can see Captain Shalt's name. Lance Corporal Albert Jaka was the first Australian who got VC at Gallipoli. During the Turkish attack on May 19th, he leapt alone into a section of trench taken by the Turks, shot 5, bayoneted 2 more, and forced the rest to abandon captured trench. There are hundreds of individual acts of courage that went unnoticed and unrewarded, so we can't say exactly the soldiers who got VC are the brave, the others not. There are hundreds more, but these are realized by superior officers, the others not. Do you know the town Holbrook in Australia, near Melbourne? There is a submarine still. Captain Holbrook was the captain of B-11 British submarine. This submarine died to Dardanelles in 1914 and torpedoed one of the biggest battleships of Turkish army, Mesudiye. When the Mesudiye ship sank, B-11's British captain, Captain Holbrook, got the first VC at sea, then his name given to a town in Australia with a submarine. Okay, as I told you, all the name of this war was young soldiers fighting. Could you please guess how old is he? He is 14 years old, soldier boy, the youngest Australian soldier. He's from Melbourne. When he decided to join army, he said to his family that, "Sign my paper, I will go." But they said, "It's impossible, you're a kid." But he said, "I made up my mind. If you let me go, when I go there, I will write you. But if you don't, I will find a way and go, but won't write you." Then his family signed his paper. In the paper, he was 18 years old. He went to Egypt for training. While he was coming to Gallipoli on the way, his ship torpedoed by a German submarine and sank. He stayed at sea nearly 4 hours. Then he rescued, came here, nearly 2 months he served here. But when he came here first, he felt himself sick, but couldn't go to doctor because he was thinking, if he goes to the doctor will understand his real age and send him back home. So he waited till last moment. But when it came, it was too late. He died because of typhoid. His name written on the panel 65. Where is it? Please climb the step, turn your right on the panel 65 near the red poppy. You can see James Martin, the youngest Australian soldier. In Australia, the famous author Anthony Hill wrote a book about him, the soldier boy James Martin. If you read it, you can have information about the other young soldiers at Gallipoli. As I told you, there were some soldiers younger than 11, younger than 10 years old. I want to show you some of their photos. Sometimes they were water carrier, sometimes ammunition carrier, but under this uniform, they were soldiers. Okay, have you got any question about Long Pine? We're here for 15 minutes, then we'll go to see tunnels and trenches together. Enjoy your time, please.
You've got to make sure that everyone is the right one. Oh, cool. And we have a great fun.
Come on, baby.
Pelican. Yeah, I know he's in the right horse. My grandmother's second husband was a Pelican. He was in the right horse. He's in that. His older brother. No, he was an older brother.
I'll probably send you about 8-10 pictures of that.
What's up?
Those